Let's start with something easier. My name is Deanna Lynn, and I am going to start my AuthorTube channel. So let's get to it. Again, my name is Deanna Lynn, and that is my pen name. I decided to make sure to use a pen name because of my career. I'm a social worker, so I kind of just didn't want to like intermingle. So a little bit about me. I am a mom of 2 babies. My daughter's 2 and my son is 11 months. He's about to be a year old this month. So that's exciting and scary, and I can't believe that went super fast. But I wanted to create my AuthorTube channel because I kind of just wanted to document what it's like to be a full-time mom, full-time worker, and a writer. It's not easy. It's something that takes a lot of energy. I am like exhausted, constantly living on Dunkin'. It's a thing, and I kind of wanted to start my AuthorTube journey so I'm able to find a community where I don't have to feel so alone in my writing. Mostly since I have been following AuthorTube for like 2 years now, and this summer I saw basically all the people that I love on AuthorTube go on this writing retreat, and I was like, oh my god, I want that type of community where I can do these things. Like, of course I would have to find a babysitter, but I want to go. So yeah, I thought it would be a start to just jump in, say hey, kind of, you know, jump on sprints, stuff like that. It's not easy for me to do these things. Obviously it has to be like planned and structured. Anyway, so about my writing journey. Hold on, let me questions. Chaotic. My life is chaotic. Excuse me. Oh my gosh, what's your book's pitch? Let's start with something easier. Ever since I was little, which a lot of people say, I started writing like mystery, trying to figure out who was the murderer in a group of people. That was like the type of writing I did when I was younger. When I got into college, I worked at the writing center, and my boss, he was on his query journey. So he got me into NaNoWriMo. This was like back in 2014. And I was like, oh wow, so it's like more than 10 years ago. Okay, let's do this NaNoWriMo thing, right? And I came up with my story. I was very motivated because at the time I was actually writing fanfics already. Oh gosh, fan fiction, what was I writing? The same story. I did start writing Twilight fanfics when I was in college though. And I was like 9 chapters in, and I was like, you know what? This would actually be a really great book, I think this would be an amazing book. And my biggest motivation at the time was my boss. Him on his career journey, him tracking, he didn't have career tracker, he was tracking it by a Word document, an Excel document. And I was just so inspired by that. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. But the thing is, at the time, I had a lot going on. So here we are 10 years later. I finished my first draft of what I'm calling it is Project Altered. So my little pitch, right? 17-year-old Everly found herself needing to escape New York City due to a genetically altered storm that were bringing out mythical creatures everywhere. So that's a really bad pitch. I don't have it written down, but I am writing a speculative sci-fi fantasy novel. I wrote my first draft during last year's NaNoWriMo, and it's not called NaNoWriMo anymore. Let's be honest. It was the Rough Draft Challenge from Heartbreathings. I love her. Did the Rough Draft Challenge last year. finished it during my postpartum. So I finished the book around March that I finished it. What do you usually write? What's a genre you'll never write? Okay. So I pulled up a list of questions, right? What do you usually write? So the thing is, right now I wrote a speculative, oh my gosh, I can't talk, sci-fi fantasy. I am in the middle of writing another novel. This is called Project The Step Stranger, so Project TSS, and this is a psychological thriller. I also started an outline for a duology, but the duology is a rom-com and a thriller. So one book is a girl's like rom-com through her eyes, and then the other side is a thriller, and he's actually something else. But to get the whole gist, read both stories. Yeah, anyway, that's my duology idea, and I already started writing an outline for it. So I'm like all over the place, and it's hard not to feel like you're all over the place when you have a lot going on, right? So I guess, you know, sci-fi, fantasy, thriller, psychological thriller, rom-com I never wrote in my life. I'm starting, like, I want to kind of like dip myself into it, but I would probably never write like just true romance by itself. Just because I feel like I'm not strong. I don't have that. That's not my strong suit. Like, it's hard for me to pull like that really deep emotion out in some characters, and I have to do that for my current books, and that's something that I struggle with. So, what are the most challenging scene or chapter to write, and why? Okay, so like in my book, Project Altered, what was the hardest thing for me is that I was trying to figure out the whole genetics thing. So obviously I'm not a scientist or anything, so I was really trying to like do my research to figure out what type of toxins actually modify genetics, and that was like the hardest thing for me. And something else was just like trying to build the relationship between my characters. So Everly has a love interest. Her name is Hazel, and she is in Alaska, where she ends up going to. And I was trying to build a relationship between them while also trying to have her figure out all these other things that are going on in the world around her, because honestly, it's a lot. Like the government, traveling state to state, and having these like huge storms that are modifying people's genetics to turn them back into what they used to be in their ancestry, these mythical creatures. So that was a little bit difficult for me. What do you hope readers take away from your book? I would just hope that people just take away a good time. Like, I want them to feel the emotions of the characters, get into the storyline, look behind the true meaning of what is me that is writing the book. Like, there's connections there between our world today and in the book. So yeah. So what made you want to become a writer? I deal with a lot of what I go through in life through my writing. So my psychological thriller has parts of me in there from like my postpartum. Project Altered has really not that much in me, but other stories that I like, the outline of the other stories I have, also have like parts of life. I wanted to become a writer because I wanted to be able to express myself and help me get through life, because life is not easy, and I really healed through my writing. So people who read my books in the future, obviously, will get to see like bits and parts of me that I don't show in my day-to-day, but I will express in my writing. My publishing path, so that's hard, because for me, I feel like traditional publishing, even though it's not the same, even though a lot of people don't go that route, do not feel as they want to go that route anymore. I do, because of the convenience. I understand it might take a long time, but because of like my life right now, full-time worker, full-time mom, I'm okay with time. I mean, it took me 10 years to even get to this point with my book. I'm okay with time. I know I still have to, you know, self-advocate and, you know, market myself and stuff like that. I do have a TikTok. I am working on those things. It's just, I want to go through that querying journey, and I want to be able to experience it for myself. So, and maybe in the future with the other books I plan on writing, I will do the indie author, let's go for it. I admire those who are indie authors because they literally do it all, and I am so inspired by them, and I would love to do that for myself later on, but I want to try traditional first. And the biggest writing struggle, I think I touched on that already. It's like getting the emotion out with my characters. And my best writing skill, I think it's just like the story aspect of storytelling. I feel like I have so many ideas that just keep popping up in my head, popping up. So it's just like the stories themselves that I can come up with. Yeah. But thank you so much for everyone who came and actually watched this fully through. If you're a writer, if you're a mom, if you're a reader, like and subscribe. I will greatly appreciate it. I want to build a community where I can, you know, be with others and we can talk about our books together. And if you're someone who already has an author tube, I'm sure I saw you before. Love you guys. So thank you so much. I didn't end on a good note because my son's about to wake up, but okay, love you, bye.